Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be explaining um, some of the things, about four main things that you should know when it comes to the United States. First of all, one, we do not really use the metric system here. That is not really a big thing. We use what's called the imperial system: feet, miles, gallons, things like that. Yards, inches, whatever, ounces, stuff like that. Well, sometimes they do metric, but not always. It's generally imperial because that's just what we do over here. Two, um, you should also know that people uh, take sports, politics, and religion seriously, very seriously. Uh, Sports, not so much, but they do tend to take it really seriously. So be careful depending on where you go to in the United States. Uh, Depending on which part of the country you're on, anyway. And it's a big country, so don't expect that to get that finished uh, within your lifetime, let alone, you know, in a day, that kind of thing. Um, anyway, uh, when it comes to uh, religion, most people in this country are uh, Protestant Christian. Like they're most of them are Christian, and the dominant what do you call it? The dominant group of Christians is Protestant. All right, surprise, surprise. Ooh, shocker. That's why they call that part the Bible Belt, because that's where most of them live. That's where most of the majority group lives, religiously speaking, anyway. And then politics. Politics is very, very complicated, and this is regardless of whenever you're watching this. So, as long as the USA still exists, politics will still be a big controversial thing. So, unless you know you can, like, be okay to talk about religion and politics to that person, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Okay? So, just be aware of that. Um, Number three, uh, a lot of people drive cars everywhere. They drive cars like everywhere. I mean, we are starting to advance more now. There are more like subways and stuff like that. Um, and you know, regardless if you're coming here to live here or if you're just coming here to like vacation or for work or if you just so happen to travel to do something for the inside the US or whatever, uh, you got to also know that most people generally drive in cars and trucks and vans and buses. But I would say generally have your own vehicle for obvious reasons. But again, it is advancing, so that could change. Anyway, um, and one of the last things I should say, specifically for those who are vacationing, um, is that, or even moving, if you come over here, I would suggest instead of going around a whole region, or obviously not going around the whole country because that would take way too long, just just stay in like one specific state. Even if the state is real small or even if it's like a real weird time, I would generally say whenever the best months to go there in that specific state is, whatever the best specific time uh is, go during that time into that state, you know, that kind of thing, and then see if you like it. And I would recommend just staying in there for if you're going for vacation or just simply living there. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going an entire region or going throughout the entire country unless that's what you're trying to do, but that's going to be kind of hard, you know? And even if you're in, say, a region like New England, for example, You, yes, you, would have to pick a state if you are planning to actually live here. Alright? Like, you would have to pick a state you want to live in. You can't just hop around too much. Because unless you're doing some big business thing or something, I generally wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, yeah, there are a lot of things I could get into, but there are a lot of U.S. content creators and a lot of U.S. nationalists that cover this kind of stuff and have already covered this kind of stuff, and they will cover a lot more stuff that needs to be talked about. So I'm just really only posting this video so that way some people can start at like basically visiting the USA as a beginner, so to speak. And that's probably what I'm going to title the video. Anyway, yeah, uh, that's just how the USA is. For now, anyway, there are cultural differences you should be aware about. There are language stuff. Now, English is the dominant language in the US, but you have to understand something. Just because most people generally speak English doesn't mean they can't understand you. So, if you do speak other languages and you think you can just insult them behind their back or something by speaking a different language other than English, they might be able to understand you. So just be aware of that if you ever think about, oh yeah, I can just insult him behind his back or her behind their back because, oh, they don't understand insert language that isn't English. Okay? Like, don't be stupid about it, is what I'm saying. So just be self-aware of that. Um anyway, that's all I got for today, and yeah, that's USA for beginners. Um I am out of here. Let me know what you think of this, and yeah. Good morning, good day, good evening, and good night. Bye.